Alrighty. Because this is very crazy.
I wonder if it's because.
Hey y'all.
Oh hey.
So we are having technical difficulties today, so that's why we late. Sorry about that. Always something. So we're streaming from my cell phone instead of the computer, as we would normally be. So today we are talking about self-care. I'm gonna shut this blind because it's a little glare on Sequoia. Can you be quiet? Thank you.
There we go. I think I'm good now, y'all.
Okay, so we're gonna have to be real lovey today, real up on each other because we tight. So anyway, so today on Wine and Grow, we wanted to discuss self-care. So welcome back to Wine and Grow. When we
friends.
grow, we wine.
And when we...
Did I say it wrong?
I don't know.
Again?
Well, we're here. Hi.
Hey, Keisha. So I'm Ken.
I'm Kay.
All right. So, yeah. So self-care. What does self-care look like for you? Like, what is self-care, right? Like, self-care is basically anything that you're doing to take care of yourself without the involvement of anyone else.
Absolutely. It's more so about you than them.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, self-care for me is a lot of things. It's sleeping, getting some rest, or like listening to music, taking some time to just be by myself and just listen to music. I will turn the music up loud and I won't be able to hear anything. Okay? Nothing. And, or like today, although I was working, but like when I went on my lunch, I was just reading. Or when it was nicer outside, last summer I would go to the park and do some meditation, which I can't wait to get back to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's supposed to be nice weather actually next week too. So I can't wait to get back to that, doing meditation and journaling and just having some quiet time. Before we got into quarantine, I was actually going, I was getting me a room downtown once a month. I found a room on Hotwire, something that's very nice. And I would go to, if it's a restaurant inside the hotel, I'm going to the restaurant in the hotel, or I'm finding somewhere to eat around there. It's just, but it's taking myself out. I'm dating myself that entire little day.
Yeah. Self-care for me is similar. Definitely, I practice self-care every morning, or at least I attempt to, by just starting my day with just me and God without anybody else. I don't check my phone or anything before I start my day. You know, like I like to just sit with myself, get in my head and trying to kind of like just see how I feel. I start with my prayer, my meditation, and looking at my devotionals, just so that I can kind of get directed for the day on what I need to focus on. Going to the park, definitely. Like she said, like sitting outside is like definitely a great way to practice self-care. Like just being in nature, it's just something about being outside, like hearing the birds. Like even when it was cold outside, when I was when I had to do my meditations at home, because I'm not one of those people who gonna go outside and it's cold. So when I had to do them at home, I started listening to meditation music that brought nature inside for me. But when it's nice outside, I like to go sit by the water and do my journaling. Basically just get my thoughts in order. And other than that, like outside of the morning, self-care looks like having wine and watching TV, taking a bath at the end of the night. Sometimes like I've been making it intentional too, like to have a glass of tea before I go to bed at night and read, because it kind of calms me down at the end of the day and just helps me to just relax in my mind before I go to bed. So like what's been okay, I was gonna ask her, like, when have you seen like the effects of self-care? Like, how did you start seeing what it made a difference for in your life once you started practicing self-care? Like, how did it shift things for you?
So last year, after I went through my breakup, is when I actually started doing it more, because I wasn't doing it at all, and I knew that I needed to. I started actually redoing it because I was doing it before, and then I just stopped. So I started in June, and once I started I was going to the park every day, y'all. I would meditate first, and then I would start journaling. And one of the days that I did, all I just told myself was to release everything. Mm-hmm. That day, and I'm not tell you, I was praying and everything. Once I got done praying, I was crying and everything. That day, I knew what all was changing for me. I knew how good I felt after that, and how good I continue to feel when I continue to be consistent in self-care, because we allow ourselves to bring on all of other people's problems and the world problems and social media and everything to take over our lives, that we need to regroup. Mm-hmm. That was me releasing everything and giving it all back, so that I can be okay. Yeah. And once I continue to do that, up until this day, I'm great. Mm-hmm. I'm great. My skin is flourishing, as y'all can tell. That's when it changed for me. And if I get out of that routine, a lot of us can feel when our energy shifts. I'm one of those people, because I'm starting to get angry. I'm snapping on people for no reason. And then once I realize it, I'm like, and I will tell myself that day, I'm like, what is going on? I just need to take a break. I take my break. However long, it can be 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of just sitting in quietness and listening to music. It can be anything, but I know that's my time to regroup. Yeah.
And that's when I knew self-care, like my self-care activities was working for me, because I could tell a difference in my day when I wasn't doing my routine, when I wasn't doing my meditation, when I wasn't journaling. Like, I could literally tell. And and now my body is like, my mind, my body like yearns for it. You know, like, no, like I actually just told somebody this yesterday. Somebody had called me wanting to talk about some stuff, and I was like, so what was your morning like this morning, right? Like, did you wake up feeling this way? Yes, I woke up feeling this way. I said, okay, well, did you think about it? Like, did you take some time to sit in those feelings and to see why you were feeling that way? Or did you just go ahead with your day? Went ahead with the day. So, of course, now the negative feelings that you're having goes with you throughout the day. And now you're taking that out on everybody. Mm-hmm. And last night, like these last couple of days, I had been dealing with some things mentally and emotionally, just battling some things. And so I was feeling really overwhelmed last night when I went to bed. And this morning I woke up and this is like, I was like, oh, I can't wait to talk about this today, because it really just made me realize how important my self-care was to me. So like I went to bed overwhelmed, and I woke up and I was, obviously those feelings are still there. I didn't deal with that, so I just started to, I thought about what I was feeling, and obviously thought about the things that had happened over the last couple of days to make me feel that way. And I started to pray. And then I started to read my Bible and my devotionals. And, of course, it was spot on, everything that I was feeling. It's like, okay. So I started journaling. I started praying. And then I went into meditation from there. And, like, immediately, like, when I started my yoga, I felt so at peace. Like, God was giving me all the answers that I needed. And then it was just, like, just flowing from there. Like, I started getting messages from people that was like right spot on what I had heard in my meditation, what my devotional was saying. It was like everything was just flowing, and my energy had just shifted. I made my first call to my client like, good morning. Like, you wouldn't even be able to tell that I had a rough last couple of days, because the way my energy had shifted when I had just took that time to just correct myself. Like, I don't want to take this energy into my day, so like it just made me feel so good. And it's just like, oh, I cannot wait to share this, because it's so important to just check your emotions. And that's what self-care does. It allows you a space and time to just take for yourself. So like some people consider self-care of like doing something for yourself, right? So self-care can be different for a lot of people. It could be doing something for yourself, like buying yourself something, taking yourself out to eat. That's fine, but spiritually, you need to sit with yourself. That's self-care. Like having a mental checkout where you just deal with you. And that's something that you should practice daily. That's a self-care that we practice daily. And then we'll implement other self-care from time to time, like going to get our hair done, going to get our nails done. But that stuff, that's maintenance, right? So self-care is something that you really want to do that you wouldn't normally do, right? Something that really matters to your day-to-day. Just taking care of your mental.
Keisha said mindfulness is everything.
Yes, it Absolutely. Is. Yeah.
And I was thinking about that too, allowing yourself to feel certain ways. How, for instance, this is an example. One of the episodes of All American, y'all, I was just a crybaby. The next day I woke up in my feelings, okay, crying all day. Couldn't even tell you why. Mm-hmm. But what I did was, in order for me to become a better me and self-care, I allowed myself to feel that. Mm-hmm. In that day, I didn't really talk to nobody. I actually had a day to myself. I was at work that whole day, y'all. Mm-hmm. That's what's even worse. I was at work that whole day, but I did not talk to nobody. Because she know I was in the room by myself the whole time. Mm-hmm. Because I just felt like I needed to feel all of that and get it out. Because when I go to sleep at night and wake up the next morning, I'm going to be good. I promise you. Because I tell that to everybody. I'm just going to allow myself to feel this, to get through this. Whatever it is, it'll pass. In the morning, I'm great. Yeah. I'm great. Mm-hmm. So it's things like that too. Allowing yourself to feel any emotion that you're going through, but you mm-hmm. cannot blame anybody else. Mm-hmm. You need to figure out why you are feeling that way. Yeah. Why you would allow someone to feel that, mm-hmm. to make you feel that way, or anything to make you feel that way. And work on that. Work on yourself to be able to get past that, past those emotions, and then be able to start over again and have a new day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now, like, y'all gotta excuse the background music if y'all can hear the background music. What's some things? Do y'all practice self-care? People who are watching, like, is there some, like, what's some things that y'all do to practice self-care? So we talked about meditation. We talked about prayer. Like, time with God for me is self-care. Like, even like I said, like, after, even this morning I listened to a sermon. Like, if my mind is everywhere, I will turn on the sermon in a heartbeat. Like, let me get myself together. Mm-hmm. Like, that's my mental is what I got to take care of. That's self-care to me. Just taking care of my mental. So,
putting your phone on do not disturb is self-care.
Oh, yes. Ooh.
Nobody said that, but it just popped in my mind.
Yes. My phone goes on do not disturb every night, first of all. So after a certain time, up until a certain time of day in the morning. So, like, that's why I say, like, the first thing I do in the morning before I'm checking my phone, because it's on do not disturb, first of all, I am praying, I am meditating, and the only reason why my phone is in my hand because my Bible app is on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am not trying to get that energy from everybody else. Like, and if it's an emergency, then people know how to get in touch with me, but, like, other than that, I cannot take in without filling myself up first. Hey, what's up, cuz? We talking about self-care. So yeah, so I'm like, I lost it. Huh? I lost it. Yeah, so self-care. Y'all didn't tell us, like, what y'all do for self-care. Does anybody who's watching practice self-care? Is there some things that y'all do? So, why do you think self-care is important? Like, why are we encouraging them to practice self-care?
I think it's important for your growth. Mm-hmm. Because at this point, you're doing things for you. Now, you're now figuring out what you like and don't like. Mm-hmm. You're figuring out what makes you happy. Yeah. To me, that's what it is. What makes you feel good? You, not nobody else. You. You'll be able to tell somebody, this is what I do to be able to bring myself peace. Yeah. Bring myself happiness.
Keisha said meditation, prayer, reading, listening to calming music. Yes, yes. So but you can see we all pretty much do the same thing. And, and that's actually when I listen to different podcasts, because podcast is another thing that I do. And not just any type of podcast, like empowering podcasts. So, and when I've listened to different podcasts and stuff on self-care, like, just setting aside time is the most important part of self-care. Actually scheduling time for yourself, not making it be by accident. If it's by accident, that's fine. But also making yourself a priority. That's practicing self-care. When you actually say, this is time for me and nobody else. That's the most important part. Of you actually putting yourself on your schedule.
Telling people no.
Yes. So if you don't, so that's the takeaway I want y'all to take right there. If you do not schedule time for you, you are not practicing self-care. Period. Like, so if you don't like have time on your schedule for you, I need you to do that today. I need you to do that right now. Put that on your calendar. At 10 p.m. before I go to bed, that's me time. At 7 a.m. before I start working, that's me time. If you start working at 6, get up an hour earlier and make some you time. Mm-hmm. Some time for you to get your mind right, so you can get your day started and good. Mm-hmm. Like, deal with yourself. Because like I said early on, if you start off negative and you take that stuff into your day, you're gonna see that effect, that domino effect. It's gonna happen. Everything is just gonna fall.
The other teacher said, I light my candles, listen to music, podcasts, getting up after I put my kids to sleep to watch TV in peace.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you have kids, self-care is important, right? Or if you don't live alone, self-care is important. You got to find time to get yourself by yourself. Another thing that I had started to do to practice self-care before the quarantine was to start to date myself. Because being single, right? Being single and like Sequoia said, when you start to practice self-care, you start to learn stuff about yourself. You know, so that was something else I started to implement. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take myself out. I'm going to take myself to do things that I like, you know, without someone else. So that way I know more about what I like when I do want to start dating. And when I do go on dates, you know, I can be more confident in the things that I want to do.
Trayvon, is that how you say his name? Mm-hmm. Okay, he said, yeah, my time is writing music. I do gospel rap, so it does something to my mind when I'm writing music, especially godly music. Mm-hmm. That's good, too. Yeah. I like that. Writing is definitely another form of self-care. Writing godly music, godly rap. Oh, I like that, too.
Yeah.
That's nice. It's definitely different ways. Some people work out as self-care.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Y'all better write these down.
We throwing out some good tips right there. Working out, especially if you don't already make time for it. You know, that makes you feel good. You know, eating right, taking care of yourself. You know, like anything that involves you taking care of you. Self-care.
That's it.
Simple.
It's very
Simply
simple.
Put.
But see, y'all gonna make it hard because if you don't know how to put yourself before nobody else, you're gonna continue to make that hard for yourself.
She said, where my right? Okay. Talking about taking notes. And like she said, yeah, say that again.
Take notes?
No, you said you make it hard for yourself. How?
Because you make it hard for yourself putting other people before you and you still not learning yourself.
Exactly. If you're not intentional about it, if you allow people to take over that time, that's how you mess it up. Like, you know, you really have to be strong. Like, okay, no, like we said, like, put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Because you like, no, like, I'm serious about this. This is me. This is my time. So get serious about it. Because if you allow people, like, people are going to do what you allow them to do. So if you don't set the boundary, then they ain't going to respect it.
That word boundaries is the word, okay?
Yeah.
If y'all didn't know.
Lighting your candles. I like what Keisha said, light your candles. Take a bath, a nice bubble bath. Yes, incense, man, I love that. Essential oils, all of that. Very good. You know, get you a diffuser.
Such our move.
Yes, because when you go to bed, those essential oil scents, if you have a diffuser in your room, amazing. You know, so yes. My favorite self-care technique has to be my meditation and yoga. Because although obviously I get a lot, I mean mentally a lot from my praying and my reading my Bible, but my body, right? My body is in the yoga, so it allows my body to feel relaxed. So that's why that's my favorite go-to, because it allows me, every part of me, to be released in that. So that's why that's my go-to. Like, that's one of my favorite things to do when I'm practicing self-care. And that's also not something that I do every day. But it's something that I know is necessary. So I try to. What did Trayvon say?
Would y'all say studying history can do something to the mind, like history of religion?
Studying does something to the mind, period. You know, like, even when I'm reading scripture now, if there's something that I don't understand, I'll study it. And that was actually something that I told one of my clients, you know, who she's having some trouble reading. And I'm like, you know, the best way you can do is to study. Grab you a dictionary. If it's something you don't understand, go deeper. Look more into it. And I like to do that. If it's something I understand, I like I go and I research it. You know, so definitely studying history definitely does something to the mind. It allows the mind to expand. You get more knowledge, you know. So that's self-care too. Expanding your mind. You know, expanding your mind is self-care. Not allowing yourself to stay in a state where you don't know. Not knowing, not wanting to know is fear. That's just nothing but fear. But when you have the desire to grow and know, self-care, that's self-love too. That's self-love because you're getting to another dimension of yourself.
I'm in the space of understanding me and learning me more to know what I love. I already know, but and to go back to what you were saying, one of the best things one of my favorite self-cares is I love music. I love music.
Yeah.
The other night, actually, I was in the car and I actually turned on Fred Hammond. The song, mind you, when songs pop up in my head, it can be a random song I ain't heard in years since a child. When it pop up in my head, I know it's time to play it.
Yep.
And I had to turn on Fred Hammond the other night.
Yeah. But that's God though.
Yeah, that too.
You know
that too. But but that song was on my heart. But then it also still made me feel good. Yeah. And then in that time, I was in my space by myself, and I loved every moment. It was Fred Hammond. We are blessed. That's my song, y'all.
We're blessed.
But music feeds me a lot, and I just love it.
It's like you gotta watch you take in, right? So, like people don't, and I was talking to somebody about the same person yesterday about this too. It's like people don't understand how much of an effect what we watch and what we listen to, like what we reading, how much that affects our mental. You know, like we don't think about that when it does. You know, so sometimes self-care can be you removing yourself from certain areas, certain things, so that you can protect your peace.
Yep.
That can be self-care for you too. So if you spending too much time on social media, practice self-care by taking a break. If you watching nothing but ratchet TV, take self-care and listen to some podcasts. Read a book, an educational book, a motivational book. You know, listen to some music that is going to fuel you. Not just going to just, you know, I like me a good ratchet song. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not starting my morning like that. I need something that's going to motivate me. You know, something that's going to get me ready and get me excited about the day so I can move. You know, like like y'all have to be intentional about what y'all putting in y'all head. What we missing?
Sorry,
the right music. I was just talking with the Pocket Full of Sunshine. That's why social media breaks.
Pocket Full of Sunshine. That's my song.
That's Darius said that. That's why social media breaks are necessary. Yeah, that's true, Trayvon. Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all. Soraya decided she wants to try to blow me up for no reason. Music does feed your soul. Music does feed your soul. I have a 3-year-old, and her little spirit takes in so much. I try to play a lot of gospel or motivational music around her, not just for her thoughts, but me too. I'm sorry, not just for her though, but me too.
Yeah.
No rap music before 12.
No. Unless it's gospel rap.
When I was riding
motivational
to work,
rap too.
That when I was riding to work, if I need myself to get turned up before I go to work, I'm going crazy.
I have a self-care playlist though. I have a self-care playlist that I had, and it's got like Lil Duval Smile on there. It's got No Guidance on there. It's got Moment for Life on there. So it has some nice rap music on there. But it's motivational rap. It's something that's gonna get you in the mood.
Songs with meaning.
Yeah. So like when I like need something more upbeat, like to just I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put up that's my self-care playlist. Like those songs that make me happy. So that's the self-care music I like to listen to. Like, that's what my playlist is all about. What's some music that make me happy, make me want to dance, you know, like, just get me excited. Like, so I'm turning that on. So if y'all want my self-care playlist, hit me up. And it's even got some affirmations, like some songs on there that's for affirmation, like where you can speak, you can repeat it and speak to yourself. Like, it's good. I love that playlist.
Sid, I definitely need you to rewatch this one. What are your what type of ways do you do, but I know you're practicing it, you may not know it, but what type of ways do you do self-care is what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Y'all.
What else are some self-care things some people do on here? Feed the Extra Artist, I'm on Spotify. I know that's right. Yes. You want, okay. You got to send me, I'll look you up on there so I can add some of your songs to my self-care playlist and my praise and worship playlist. So, definitely plug. So, we're gonna wrap up this episode. But just to kind of sum up everything and to try to give y'all something to take away, like, so schedule some time for you in your schedule. Make some time where you do something nice for yourself without the involvement of anybody else. That's self-care.
Y'all, buy yourself some flowers. Buy yourself some flowers. Like, just, even if it's something small, it don't have to be nothing extravagant. Like I was talking, and I ain't saying going to a hotel is extravagant, but it doesn't have to be anything big. It's whatever you decide, whatever you love or think you love. If you don't love it, you know you can change it anytime you want to. Take care of you. You first.
Yeah.
You before anything.
Yeah. So, and be intentional. Don't allow people to come into your space. You know, and try to get a self-care routine daily if you can. You know, like I said, at the end of the night, maybe just setting that last hour before you go to bed. If you go to bed at 10, regularly, if you sleep by 12, then get in your bed an hour early and just wind down. You know, read you a book or whatever. If you get up at 6 o'clock, get up 30 minutes early. You know, just to meditate, just to think, just to journal, read something positive. Before you get on social media, before you interact with the world, just set yourself up for a good day. You will not regret it. Trust me, because like we said, like you notice a change in yourself and your energy. Especially if you have a job where you're dealing with people, you'll definitely notice. You'll deal with people differently. And the day that you don't do it, you'll notice a difference too. If you start to do it regularly. And
I definitely know that from experience. Sometimes my job can be overwhelming. And I do find myself, if a customer, I'm sensitive, y'all. Whoever knows me knows I can possibly be like, my mouth is terrible, but I am very sensitive, okay? So even being at work, it sometimes those people can get to you. But if I'm in a good mood, if I've done my self-care, meditation, whatever it may be, these people, majority of the time, they don't get to me. And I will, whatever they give it to me, I'm not going to return the energy, obviously, but I'm going to be in a good mood, and I'm going to give them what I got. And I'm going to get them together. And thank you, Sid. Sid says she's been meditating. I love her.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, you right. But we just not going to go there with you. We're going to talk about that on our sexual truth episode. But that, that's
season 2.
So basically, that's satisfying. If that's satisfying for you.
But there are so many different ways to satisfy yourself.
Yes. That's why we're talking about self-care. Yes. So thank you guys for tuning in to Wine&Grow. We will be back. I need to talk to her about that. So we will definitely give you guys an update on when we're coming back. We're coming back next week, but I'm see if we can come back the week after. So because we want to do a happy hour because it's going to be our last episode.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna talk to her about that and just watch the post and we'll let y'all know. That's self-gratification, which is seeing. Okay, well, so have a good night, everybody. Good night. And thanks for tuning in.
And please, y'all, if y'all can, a lot of people, actually, we've had a lot more comments than we normally have. So I'm glad that you guys are participating. I'm thankful. We're thankful for the engagement. If you guys can give us any kind of feedback, though, or any topics that you may want to hear us discuss, just let us know here or DMing us. To let us know what you want to hear us talk about. And
share us. If y'all like this, y'all like tuning in, share the videos. Let people know to join us in these conversations.
I'm going to be like the kids on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe.
Yes. All right. Love y'all. Good night.